Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day, and today's video is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette using the Melt 420 eyeshadow palette. Look how beautiful, look how glorious. I have been lusting over this thing since it got announced and I'm really excited about it. So without any further ado, today we're going to do 3 looks with this and then I'll give you a full review, what I think of the whole palette. At the end of the video we're going to do more of a brown look, more of a green look, and more of a yellow look because that is the color scheme inside of this beautiful palette. This retails for $58. It is available on Sephora's website right now. I'll leave it linked down below for you if you want to check it out. But today we're going to do a couple looks with this, test it out, tell you what I think, feel out the shadows, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to today's video. Let's start with look number 1. Okay, so I'm very excited. Let's do the first. Okay, so I haven't touched it yet. I'm very excited. Let's get started with the first look. I do have the Pretty Fresh concealer from Colourpop on my lid. It is not set at all, it's just on my lid. I'm kind of like doing this so it doesn't crease on me. But let's do the first look with the beautiful 420 palette. Look how beautiful. Like there's yellows, there's greens, there's browns. That's what I wear on a daily basis. Like those are my 3 go-to color schemes. So what I'm gonna do, I have this eyeliner from Melts, which is like an amberish color. This is in the color Baked. So let's go for more of a browniness. I'm going to start off with something kind of yellow, I guess. I don't know. Actually, let's start off with this kind of taupey shade, this last shade here called Hash. I'm going to dip into this one. There's a bunch of kickback in the pan, but nothing more. Okay, so it took a lot off the brush when I tapped it, but nothing more than like Anastasia level. And I'm just going to buff this over a crease. I feel like I lost most of the product when I tapped it, to be honest, so I'm not going to tap it the second time I go in here. That's better. Alright, so first shade is down. This is what we're working with. It looks pretty good so far, honestly. It's a nice taupey color. Next shade I want to dip into, I really just want to dip into this shade. See, there's 2 I want to dip into. See, I want to dip into Dank, and I also want to dip into Blunt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Blunt because it's the warmer one. We're going for that warmer look today. I'm going to tap off the excess. There wasn't that much kickback in the pan with this shade. This shade did come broken. I don't know if you probably can't even tell, but a lot of the texture from the leaves fell out of this shade because it came kind of cracked and there was like a bunch of broken pieces in there. The rest of them are like full texture. This one's missing some, so I do think this palette is pretty fragile. I probably would not travel with it because it was bubble wrapped and everything really safely. I just went back in not tapping off the excess because when I touched it with the excess tapped off, it didn't look like much product on the brush, which is a little weird. And even not tapping off the excess, I do kind of wish this was a little bolder, but let's try the other side. Like I'm tapping in there, not tapping off excess. It should be darker than this. Okay. It's really weird. Like this is a really rich warm brown, and I know they can do rich warm browns, but it's not coming off that way on the eye at all. We put that taupey shade down, but the taupey shade was not very bold or really colorful or anything, so it shouldn't be this subtle of an ambery color, but I'm just gonna roll with it because I don't have any other choice. Why is it so dark? Like it's kind of mustardy now, and this is a really warm color. All right, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go into full Melt. I'm gonna tap off the excess. I'm just gonna try to warm this look up because it's looking kind of neutral. I'm gonna go back in and not tap off the excess and see if that performs a little better. That did show up a little bit when I tapped off the excess, but I really want that full impact color. Okay, this shade's definitely more of what I was going for with that other one. This one's a lot better, but if you tap off the excess, it does come off more subtle, which usually it would. It's a little more subtle than I expected, but that could be due to the amount of kickback in the pan, just to how they press the powders. But this color is a lot more redeeming than this Blunt one, which I really like the color of, but it's not as consistent with Melt's formula from the Gemini palette that I'm used to. But this one is really pretty color. Like it's really nice. I feel like I may have darkened this one a little too much. Like this looked better, but again, I'm just working with it. This look so far it looks pretty good. I do feel like there's a little bit of inconsistency with the product so far, but again, we're only using the browns, so maybe like the yellows and the greens are better, but this is still looking okay. I just don't know why the first shade we went into, the taupe one, disappeared when you tapped it off, and then this one is not very bold at all, but this one was really nice. So far there's that. I guess there's only one shimmer in the palette, which is a gold, which, you know, I'm okay with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put something else on my lid. I'm going to take a single shadow put on my lid. I'll be right back and we'll do the lower lash line. Okay, so what I chose was the Super Shock Shadow in Ritz from Colourpop. Normally I would not ever use a different product other than the palette that I'm doing a 3 looks on with, but this palette has been out for a little bit, so I feel like it's okay to add a little bit of shimmer if I want one. And since I am leaving the house, I would like to have a little bit of shimmer on my lid. But right now, the look with the browns and everything looks fine. So what I'm going to do for the lower lash line is I'm going to take, I'm going to go back into Blunt, give it a second chance with a packing on shader brush. This is an E55 from Sigma. Going in there a lot. I'm just going to brush in a lower lash line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's still not that impactful. Like, it got more color out. And it's a packing on brush. It should be pretty solid. It's just not. And I feel like the more I blend it, it's kind of disappearing a little bit. Alright, this is our eyes shadow. I'm going to go put on some eyeliner, mascara, lashes, finish up my face, and I'll be right back to show you the finished look. Okay guys, this is the finished look using the Melt 420 palette. Like, up close. It looks very cute. I know we use a different shimmer, but the orangey, kind of rusty colors of this, I'm really into. I think it looks really good, especially with the Daddy Lip from Jeffree Star. Like, it looks good. So this is the finished look. I do think the palette performed way differently than I was expecting. I am a little bit apprehensive going into the more tricky colors like the greens and the yellows next. But as of right now, I am thoroughly happy with this first look. So I just can't believe I had my hands on it. Like, really, I'm just in disbelief that I have my hands on it because I've been lusting after this thing since it got announced. Now that it's here, like, please don't ever leave me. So let's get into the second look. Alright, hello guys, so we are ready for look number 2. I have some concealer on my lid. I just blended it out. It was kind of creasing on me. But let's do a yellowy kind of look. I have no idea what I want to do for this look, honestly. I just want yellow on my eyelids, as every day. So I'm going to use my E38 brush from my Sigma collection. And I kind of want to start off with the greeny kind of color. So we're going to start off with Shotgun. It is a lime, but I'm pretty sure I can pull this into a really... Ooh, a lot came off. A lot came off. I'm pretty sure I can pull this into a yellowy look. Oh yeah, it's really yellow, so. Okay, I'm not gonna tap off the excess this time when I go back in here. It did still have a good amount. A lot fell in the air when I tapped off the excess for this shade, but still pigmented. And I do think it performs better when you don't tap off the excess, but then again, it's kind of risky because you don't know how much you're gonna have up there. This looks good, that's nice. It's not the most bold lime color that I ever expected, especially because my base is so white. But it's definitely buildable, I think. So I'm just gonna buff this all over my crease. Can I just say while I'm doing this that I really liked look number 1 from yesterday. I thought it was so pretty. Like, I know the shimmer wasn't from the palette, but I never really wear warm, kind of rusty kind of colors in my eyes, and I might have to do it more often because I really liked the way it looked. It looked kind of grungy, but it didn't look like super, super dark. It was still a really good balance, and I quite enjoyed that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to wipe off my brush, go into this wax shade, which is, it looks really, really light on camera, but it's very golden in person. It looks a lot lighter on camera, I swear to you. It's like a, it still looks like, I'm against camera lights. It's a very rich yellow. A lot of kick back in the pan with that shade. I'm gonna tap off the excess, see if we can build this to make it more golden in our crease. Yeah, that definitely made that more yellow. So I'm gonna go into this side, not tapping off the excess, and see if there's any difference here. I normally do tap off the excess with any palette, but there's so much kickback in the pan with this one. I have just been trying to just use all of it on the brush because I feel like I'm losing so much by it going in the air, and it's kind of making a little bit of a mess in here because it is so powdery, but like I still like the color. So this is not tapping off the excess. This is, no, this is tapping off the excess. This is not tapping off the excess. It looks pretty much the same. Honestly though, I really like this hue of yellow. I wish it was a little bolder, to be honest, just because I like the yellowness, and it does look really yellow, but I wish it was slightly more golden because it is really, really gold in the pan. But it doesn't look like it on the eyes the same way. But I know we started off with a lime, but it still should have colored up a little bit darker, I think. Now I'm just putting the babiest bit of concealer in the center of my lid and blending that out just a little bit. There's only one shimmer in this palette, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I wanted like a little bit of a pop in the center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that shimmer, I'm gonna wipe off that concealer off my brush. I'm gonna take this shimmer, which is called Shatter. It's the only shimmer in the palette. It is a kind of golden shade. It's a little less, it's a little more subdued than the like bright yellow we have here. So it is more of like a rich golden color. It doesn't really want to pick up on my brush very well. But we're gonna just try to tap this on this little bit of concealer. For a halo eye. It is not sticking. I'm gonna flip the brush over. This is my normal, like my favorite, this is an E58 cream contour or cream color brush. It's like my favorite packing on brush. And it's not sticking. Like it stick a little bit right here, but it's not sticking everywhere that I put it. It's sticking a little bit in the center here, but not everywhere that I put it. So I'm gonna try my finger and like pack it in the center here. It's a little better, but it's still really kind of hard pan shimmer, and it's not really, I mean, it stuck more, but again, like see right down here, it's not really sticking. I'm gonna dip my whole finger. I'm just gonna cover the whole lid with this now just to try to get an even coat with it. It's really weird. Like it's still on my finger, but it's still not a really metallic formula for melt like I'm used to with the Gemini. So it doesn't really want to stay on my lid, even though I have like concealer down. Concealer has like a little bit of a sticky base. I let it set for a second so it would get kind of tacky. And even then, still going back into that shimmer over and over again, it's not really sticking down how I want it to, which is really weird. Because normally the shimmers from Melt, at least in the Gemini, that's the only one I've really played with, it sticks down so beautifully, it smooths, it blends into everything, like it's such a beautiful metallic formula. This is very almost sticky to itself. It gets on my finger, right? But it's not even like really metallic on my finger. It is still very, I mean, it's metallic, but it's not, it's kind of like stuck to my finger. It's not sitting on my finger. It's like mushed to my finger and not really to the lid. So it's not the most, it's still, it shows it's a shimmer, but it's not the most metallic like it looks in the pan, which is weird. But I do really like the color of it, like it's a beautiful yellow. So let me wipe my finger off and we'll continue. To say I was excited for this palette is an understatement, and I still am in love with it. I'm just very confused by it right now because we had a couple issues with the first look, specifically with this blunt brown shade. And now I'm having issues with the one shimmer, which is weird because they do have great formulas, and the other shades in that Gemini palette are like there's no flaws with the palette. It is gorgeous. So I'm very confused about why this is such a different formula. I've heard mixed things about Melt before, especially with like the Smoke Sessions palette, and I've heard really good things about the holiday palette they did, the Day of the Dead palettes. So I don't know. I do have the Smoke Sessions palette now, which I'm really excited to play with because it's so green. So I don't know. I've heard it's really fragile though, so I'll never travel with that palette, but I'm really excited to like stick my fingers in those greens. But I wanted to try this one first because it's like my soulmate. Look at this color scheme. That's my soulmate. But I'm very confused with formula right now, I must say. And also my eyes are stark white underneath there. Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna take, what's a shade we haven't done? I don't wanna use all the greens. I guess I'm gonna take the shade Roll It, which is this dark cool tone matte brown. I'm gonna take it a little bit, and I just wanna darken the tippity outer corner. This is very pigmented. I probably should have tapped off the excess of this one. I just wanna darken just this little outer V right here. I'm getting some fallout with this shade under the eyes. I didn't tap off the excess, that might be my fault, but I'm not gonna touch it for the moment till I'm done blending it, but I feel like it's getting worse the more I blend it. I'm getting some, can we focus? Oh, come on camera, don't be like that. We have fallout right here. In this shade on this side I had to add a little more because it is starting to kind of blend away right down here where I packed it on originally. So I'm gonna have to add a little more to this side, I think. Does anyone know if this palette is limited edition? because I do not. And it's such a gorgeous color scheme. Like, I hope they tweak it a little because I'm having some weird experiences with it. Maybe when they get feedback from like reviews and stuff, they'll tweak it a little and make this color scheme permanent, because honestly, I cannot even think about another color scheme at this moment. This is the most beautiful color scheme on a palette I've ever seen, but I am having a weird experience with it because I feel like this shade kind of wants to dust away. So I'm gonna clean off my brush and go back in to that bright golden matte color called Wax and just kind of add to this portion of the eye because I feel like it did fade some. So I'm just gonna add that. It could have been from all the blending we did around the eye area with the darker brown shade we just did, but I didn't touch this shade and it's kind of dulling down on me a little bit, so I'm just gonna keep adding some more in here. There's so much kickback in the pan with that golden matte shade. Okay, so I think this is what I'm gonna leave for the top lid. It's not my favorite look I've ever done in the world, to be honest, and this is still fading away. If we can see, like right here where I packed it to this outer V, it's starting to fade away where it was in the center there. This side looks better, but you still can see like right here it's starting to fade away and I haven't touched it. So that's a little weird. I still have some fall under the eye. I'm not gonna wipe it away until I'm done with this eye look because I don't know if I'm gonna get a little more. And the yellow in the inner corner started to fade a little bit, so I'm gonna like finish my face, leave it for a while before I do the finished look for you guys. So for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take that Wax shade, which is the golden yellow, which has a lot of kickback, so I'm gonna tap off my excess, and I'm just gonna coat the lower lash line with this. I don't think it's gonna be as bold as the top golden. It is very sunflowery under here, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. I like yellow under the lower lash line. I know it's never as bold as the top of the lid, but it's still really pretty. I'm not gonna darken up the outer corner because I don't know what's going on with that brown shade. All right, so this is our eyeshadow. I'm gonna finish up my face, sit around for a little bit, do some stuff so we can see if the yellow fades and stuff, but I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this is the finished look for look number 2 using the Melt 420 palette. So the look I've been wearing for about an hour since you last saw me. It looks really, really cute. And the yellow did fade slightly, just in the very, ooh, what is that? This is in the very inner corner, but like right here, where the primarily where I packed it on in the crease and stuff, it still looks really good and really yellow. I also really like the subtle kind of sunflowery lower lash line with the yellow eyeliner in there. I think it looks really good. So this is the second look up close for you. Kind of inconsistent on the outer corner blend because it does kind of want to disappear, but overall the look is still very cute. So let's move on to look number 3. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started with look number 3 today. So we're gonna do greens for this last look, which is kind of the whole point of the 420 theme, is a lot of the greens. So I'm gonna start off with the E38 from Sigma. I'm gonna start off with this shade Faded, which we haven't tried before. It's kind of a limey, kind of an olive. It looks more limey. Oh, see, it makes a mess and then like all flies in the air. But let's see, my eyes are set, or not set, they're just some concealer down. And I'm just gonna buff this shade over our crease and we'll see what you come up with. Okay, so that's, well, it's not very much, but that's it with the excess tapped off. I'm gonna not tap the excess off this time and just start packing this on. Okay, definitely better. But definitely not the same shade that it looks in the pan. Okay guys, so this is our crease color going on right now. It's fine, but it kind of wants to stick where it wants to stick. As you can see, there's like a line of green on both sides. It kind of sticks where I originally put it and then doesn't really want to blend out evenly. Like I've been blending and blending and it's still just kind of stuck where I originally put it. But I'm just gonna roll with it, I guess. I don't know what to do. Actually, I'm gonna pack on a little bit of this Shotgun color, which is the lime in the palette, and I'm gonna pack that in the inner crease area just to brighten this up a little bit. I don't see much of a difference there at all, but we're gonna move on to the next color, which is Chronic, which is like the only other green in the palette. So we have 3 really green shades. We're gonna go into this one now, which is kind of a foresty kind of color. It's a very cool tone. I'm not gonna tap off the excess with this shade. I'm just gonna pack it. Yeah, I'm gonna pack it on the inner and outer portion. I know I just packed in that lime color in the inner portion, but I'm gonna make kind of a halo-y thing, as you can see. And I'll meet it over the center, but I'm gonna leave the very, very center of my lid blank. I'm gonna switch brushes to this actually like, it's a Firm Blender E44, like a dome top brush. I'm with that bigger brush we had before now, trying to blend this out. And this shade also, disregard the lid. This shade also just sticks where I put it and will not buffer out because look, it disappears. Like, can we see this little center of my eyelid here where I packed on the most? It's now empty because I tried to blend it out. It is like disappearing instead of blending, and it's very, very odd. I don't know what's going on here. Like, this is not like I originally packed this on over here. Now where my eyelid folds, it is now missing. And I keep packing on more to add it back and like help, like add on a little bit higher up to help it blend, but it's not blending. I'm gonna go back into that faded color from before, which is this shade right here, and hope it helps blend this out because it's looking kind of really tragically rough at this point, and there's no kinda about it. What is going on? I'm so confused. Like, look, even more of this side is gone now. Like right here. I just don't understand. Okay, I don't feel great about this. So I don't really know what to do to save this. I'm gonna, with my finger, I guess, I'm gonna take this lime shotgun shade, just with my pinky, and pop it in the center because we don't have anything other than that one golden shimmer. And then I'll take a brush and kind of blend this in. All right. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine here. I'm going to go into that faded shade, which is the only green that hasn't been weird. Like the shotgun limey shade's a little inconsistent, but at least this faded shade's pretty good. I'm just going to dust on the lower lash line. I kind of want to darken the, yeah, okay. I'm going to brush this shade under the lower lash line and I'll darken it with the Chronic, the dark green shade on the outer corner. I don't know if it's gonna stay, but I'm gonna try it. All right, the lower lash line looks good. I still don't know what is going on with this top eyeshadow. Like, this is not even remotely even or blended or anything. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna throw lashes on and cover it up. And I still have a lot of fallout under my eye too, but even this shade, I really like. The faded shade is very powdery, so I filled it everywhere anyways. So I'm gonna pop on some mascara lashes, finish my face. I'll be right back, and then we'll talk about everything. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. What do we think? I mean, honestly, with the big lashes on, it does hide it, but there's so much wrong with this look. Like, two of the shades didn't want to blend out too well. Like, okay, overall thoughts on the palette. It's the most beautiful color story I've ever seen, and I'm really, really grateful to have it. Absolutely. Like, I'm so thankful to have this. But there's a lot of inconsistencies with it, so I just want to be real with you guys about it. I don't want to give like a, I'm thankful to have this, it's so beautiful, beautiful color story, and then like just tell you that. I want to tell you like in depth like what to expect with this palette. So I really do enjoy this shade Faded. I thought it was really pretty, but it did stick in the crease where I put it and didn't really blend out as well. There's a couple stars in this palette. Like the really warm look I think we came up with looked really, really nice. I do think that the shade Blunt was not at all what I expected from the warm look. This shade Full Melt is an absolutely beautiful color, and I really enjoyed this shade Dank too, which is like a cool tone brown. I do think that the yellow is nice in here. It is not the most bold yellow in all time, like the yellow matte anyways, but it's very pretty and it came up with a really nice look with that, and I actually really like how that second look came together. But the shimmer is very, very strange. It doesn't really want to stick to the lid in any way. So I think unless you're going to do an all over the lid golden moment, you can't really do a little pop of gold in the inner portion of the eye. It doesn't really want to pick up on your finger or a brush. So if you're going to do a little pop of gold, this isn't really the palette for you. But if you're going to do like an all over the lid shimmery moment, it would actually work, but it is a lot more effort than you would expect. So overall, there's some shades I like in this palette. There's some shades I don't like in the palette. I think we really went over that with each look. And I don't know if it's worth the $58 price because of the inconsistencies, but if this color story, this exact color story, like there's nothing I would change in here. Maybe one more shimmer, just add an extra shade. If this exact same color story was the regular, like the Gemini palette formula, this would absolutely be something I would never put down. But there is a lot of inconsistency with it, but it's still gorgeous, and I still think I'm going to use it a ton. Like, I know I complain about a lot of the shades, and I stand by everything I say, but like this color story is something I'm going to reach for all the time. Like really, this is a color story I'm going to reach for all the time. So I'm having mixed feelings on it because it is not where the quality should be for the price points. I also find that these little, this little holographic-y, whatever, you know, the scratchiness, it is a little bit stabby. Like when I hold it, I feel like this is very kind of, it's not sharp, but it's like, I don't know, it's very rigid. I feel like it shouldn't, this is not necessary, but it is pretty looking. Anyways, you guys, I don't know how to review this palette for you. I'm sorry. I give it like a, I give it a 5 out of 10. Color concept, theming and everything, 10 out of 10. Product consistency, 5 out of 10. But it's so beautiful. I still like, I'm really excited about it still. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know it was a little bit weird of a review. I don't really know how to review this palette because I'm still super stoked and I still think we can use it a ton, but it is really difficult to work with compared to any other eyeshadow palette out there, especially for the price point. So mixed feelings, but thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please leave me a comment down below telling me which one of the 3 looks was your favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you're not subscribed already, I greatly appreciate it if you did that, and I'll see you later.